Absolute cinema. Don't play this game. Why is this a downvote? Well, TurboJax, this video is just for you. Do you enjoy gameplay that gives you every single headache imaginable? Repeating menial tasks that will gruesomely kill your favorite characters? All while being surrounded by coworkers undergoing various degrees of psychosis. No? Because you are sane. As for the rest of you, congratulations! You have weapons-grade autism and qualify to be a manager at Lobotomy Corporation. You'll manage legally distinct SCPs called abnormalities in Korean fallout shelter. Here's a day in the life of a manager at Lob Corp. I start the day off with 3 random executions. To appease the magical girl demon, work proper can now begin. I send agents to various eldritch entities for the purpose of powering light bulbs. After a while, the clownpocalypse is upon us, and I march my bravest warriors to deal with it. In the meantime, Grandma is having a manic-depressive episode because no one has visited and obelisks have rained down from the sky, crushing 20% of my workforce. This causes a chain reaction of breaching abnormalities, mass panic, and banger music to play through the speakers. In my excitement, I have forgotten about Giga Satan, who has just ushered in the end times. This development has hampered productivity, but I have nonetheless reached energy quota for the day. I lean back in my chair, pat myself on the back, and, if there are any survivors, I'll see them at work in the morning. I am getting ahead of myself though. Let's go back to humbler beginnings. The start of the game is simple, comfy even. You send agents to produce energy by working with abnormalities. Suits and weapons are extracted from them for agents to use in combat. At the end of each day, your facility expands, another abnormality is added, and you gain Lob to hire new agents and pump the stats of existing ones. Each of the 4 corresponding work types also pumps stats. This is what you'll spend most of your time doing in-game, for every agent, in every department, every day. All while navigating each Abnos' list of mechanics, which include possession, insta-death, and facility-wide apocalypses. The only relief you'll get is when ordeals or meltdowns roll around. An Abno under meltdown gets loose and wild at the end of the timer, and meltdowns come in multitudes. These force you to take action or make you work on a dangerous Abno you otherwise wouldn't, as completing a work on a meltdown suppresses it, preventing a breach. If you forget or miss it though, time for a fight. This is what combat sounds like! Combat spreads your attention thin, as agents can die at a moment's notice. With 4 damage types, special powers, and not even being able to see HP bars sometimes makes fights hectic. Paying attention and preventing breaches is always better than having to fight, but that's not always possible because ordeals are a handful of random events, increasing in severity the longer the day goes. A purple dawn, for example, is just some blobs that are easy to beat down, but a purple midnight is Cthulhu doing an unboxing of your facility. These usually cause the most chaos as your attention is divided to handle most ordeals alongside the Abnos in your facility. Like my first Aleph, the most dangerous classification, the Silent Orchestra. This cardboard cutout essentially escapes if you work on him twice. A curtain closes, and now his performance begins. It's a department-wide symphony that makes everyone go insane. He's immune to all damage types but 1 for each of the 4 movements, and at the end, curtains close, your entire energy reserve is depleted, and everyone dies. This is one of the easier Alephs to handle. Here's some other fun Abnos for you. Express Train to Hell can go fuck itself. Every 2 minutes, a train will ram through your facility unless you take a ticket to reset this timer. I am not exaggerating when I say this is the worst Abno in the entire game. And if the designer of it is listening, I will find you. Then we have clerk rights activists. Clerks are the little uncontrollable NPCs running around. They aren't useful and die frequently, so who cares? The activists do. And they commonly get loose if enough of them die. Over and over and over. Not all Abnos are bad though, like Der Freischütz. He's cool. Lets you shoot bullets and has the best drip. These are just the tip of the demented iceberg you'll inevitably crash into playing this game. The true challenge presents itself after day 21. Core suppressions. Each department is led by a robot, but they're not really robots. They were mostly former employees who died. The founder of Lob Corp put their brains in mechanical bodies so they could keep working, a normal South Korean practice. As you complete their missions, you get upgrades and learn about their tragic backstories, culminating in them having a facility-wide nervous breakdown that you have to deal with for meltdown immunity and a chance at the true ending. Each department's core suppression is different, but they all make the day much harder, with the biggest roadblocks being Gebra, Hakma Balls, and Sadistic Goth Mommy. Gebra's is a 3-phase boss fight where she Supermans through your entire facility, turning everyone into a fine red mist. Hakma's is simple yet effective. You cannot pause. Well, you can, but a random agent will die, and with each subsequent pause, this penalty increases by 1. Also, the game speed gets faster and faster. Bina is another 3-phase boss fight. She constantly creates facility-wide meltdowns that need to be suppressed to even damage her. She also stops you from pausing in phase 3. All of these exacted heavy tolls on my facility. Thankfully, the game lets you memory repo, basically a checkpoint system. You rewind back to a previous day with all of your dudes intact. Problem is, at day 46, I rolled over into a checkpoint after beating Bina, with none of my dudes intact. This is when the game makes it very clear to you, you're in the final stretch, and things are only going to get worse. Day 46 introduces new white ordeals and removes all of your hard-earned meltdown immunity. On day 47, you'll have to finish the day while all 4 of the top layer core suppressions are active. So, no healing, can't double check what abnos do because the UI is pixelated, every agent's stats are reduced, and work types are constantly scrambled. I met my match here. Understaffed and outgunned, what followed were 4 hours of attempts, each more hopeless than the last. The real kicker is that following this pattern, the next day would be a rematch against Geb with an assist from Cheesed, who makes you take 5 times damage. And the day after that, no pausing for the full Bina fight. I can handle a challenge, but I also know when something's impossible. So I had to make the dreaded decision of memory repoing all the way back to day 1. At its core, Lobotomy Corporation is a game filled with despair, but it's also about the struggle of overcoming it. You produce energy for the city, the last bastion of humanity. Governed by corporations called the Wings of the World, life is bleak. From the poverty-ridden backstreets where people fight tooth and nail for survival, to the nests of each corporation where any lapse in productivity could have you ousted. It's a vicious cycle where the common person has no hopes or aspirations beyond staying alive. This disease of the mind was something Carmen, a founding member of Lobotomy Corp, sought to cure. To that end, she recruited people from various backgrounds who shared in her vision to change the world. However, after a child Carmen adopted dies in an experiment, she breaks down. Her attempted suicide leaves her on the verge of death, and so A, another founding member, transfers her yet living nervous system into a vat to produce cogito, the substance Carmen believed to be the cure for humanity's woes. A carries on the experiments with cogito which lead to the death of more members, all in the name of continuing Carmen's will. The Seed of Light Project. After the betrayal of a researcher, the facility is decimated by the invasion of an arbiter, which leaves only A and Benjamin standing. The two create an AI android in Carmen's image, Angela. She is given a script by A and instructed to follow it as a machine without deviation, with one of the first steps to kill Benjamin and turn him into the final Sephiroth. The 8 former employees and newly repurposed arbiter all have a role to play with Angela as the stage director. To ensure success, A uses another corporation's device that with enough power can turn back time. In his final act, A wipes his own memories and begins his first day of work at Lobotomy Corp as the new manager over and over again, until you, the player, can finally get it right. So yeah, A is kind of a Machiavellian asshole, but if the Seed of Light can bear fruit and save mankind, then this is the cost that must be paid. The despair I felt after needing to go back to day 1 is a mirror of the game's narrative, which I wanted to see through to the end. I steeled my resolve, mentally prepared myself for the winding road ahead, and went to go play a puzzle game for a week. The thought of Lob Corp made me sick. Meme! W-meme! And possibly gave me brain damage. Coming back with a fresh perspective, I went in with singular purpose. To beat this f***ing game. And I did. I powered through to the end and bested the hardest challenges, with one last thing left to do. Manage the abnormalities one final time. On day 50, as the day's energy fills up, the entire facility rotates upside down and begins rising through the earth. It reaches the surface, and the true purpose of all the energy you collected is revealed. A beam of light illuminates the night sky. It has become a literal beacon of hope to fill the hearts of humanity. You recall your true name, fade away into the light, and credits roll. But someone else spent countless loops with you down there. Someone who, despite their artificial nature, was built with feelings and aspirations of their own. Angela, spurned and ignored by her own creator, decides she's been on the sidelines for far too long. So what does she do? Turns off the light. Slogging through hours of stat grinding, starting days over because one mistake nuked the facility, nearly 100 hours of pain, and for what? My catharsis is ruined by a toaster realizing they have free will? The ending is suffering! The gameplay is suffering! The music's actually really good. But was there a point to playing this game? Yes. I haven't been emotionally invested in a game like this in a long time. I wouldn't recommend anyone actually play it, but it serves as a stepping stone to one of my favorite games of all time, Library of Ruina. Top-notch storytelling and a genuinely fun, creative, and stylish RPG. It can also be brutal and difficult, but unlike Lob Corp, I never found myself hating the game. Best of all, you don't need to play Lob Corp. Moments might lose impact or greater meaning, but it can work on its own. Although, admittedly, it is probably one of the best storytelling setups ever, which can only really be felt by playing the game. And with that, hope this answers your question, TurboJax. Every time I see Angela on screen, I'm gonna spit at her.